Hey guys, I hope you've all had a wonderful Christmas, spending some quality time with your friends and family. I'm sorry if I don't quite sound like myself. I'm still suffering a bit of jet lag. Just arrived back from the United States a few days ago, having had a wonderful holiday with my family over there in LA and Colorado. You might have seen some of my pictures on social media. I had a wonderful time hiring a Model X via Turo, which I will of course vlog about a bit later on. A couple of things I want to talk about today. Interesting experience with our two Teslas here over that holiday period. So we were away for about 15 days away from home. We drove the Model S 2015 AP1. We parked at Park on King, which is a self-parking garage in Mascot, close to Sydney Airport, which I'll talk about a bit later on. But in that 15 days, this car lost 28% of charge. So we drove in at 78%. And we got the car back at 50%, so 28% over 2 weeks. So if I left my car there for like more than 2 months, this car would be completely dead. So that's something I guess you've got to be aware of driving a Tesla. On the other hand, the Model 3 over here, we left at home unplugged. I left home with this car at 80%, and when I got back home, it was 75%, which is interesting. So in 2 weeks, it had lost only 5% of charge. So if you extrapolate that forward, lose 5% of charge in 2 weeks, that means if you started with 100% charge, you could technically have 10 months of your car just sitting here idle before it dropped to zero. Of course, that's theoretical. I don't know what it's like at the end ranges, like when it gets closer to zero, does it lose charge faster? I don't know. And I guess there are a couple of reasons why the Model S, or my Model S, loses charge quicker than this one. The Model S doesn't have a sleep function as such, or at least it's not as good as this one, Model 3. So, Tesla loses charge every night, which is called a phantom drain. In fact, the Tesla manual states that it loses 1% per night because it keeps battery temperature at the right level, runs diagnostics, uploads, all those kind of things. Whereas Model 3 over here, it has a really good sleep function, so if you don't touch your car for a while, you've actually got to wake the car up on the app. You could see it, like it says waking up. I think that's the reason why it keeps its charge really well. So 5% over 2 weeks, which is really good. And I did wake up the car every few days just to make sure it was okay. Don't know why. I just did that when I was overseas, but I'd probably woke up the car up maybe 5 to 10 times over 2 weeks. And that's why I think it only lost 5% charge. The next thing I want to talk about is Park on King, which is a relatively newcomer to the shuttle parking scene in Sydney. They've been around for a couple of years now, but I think they do a great service. I used to park at another shuttle parking lot where I would drop my keys at the front. And I guess I'm a bit concerned about dropping my keys to a valet with my Tesla. There was an incident on the Tesla Owners Club of Australia Facebook group where one of the members dropped their keys to the Sydney Airport official valet. And they came back and they noticed the energy, I think the energy was like quite high, and they wondered why that happened. So they checked their sentry mode and there was video evidence of the valet people basically taking their Model 3 or Model X, one of their Teslas, for a joyride around the car park. So that's why I was not going to leave my car to a valet anymore. And so that's why I like Park on King, because you can drop your car there and take your car keys with you, which is great. So that's what we did for our Model S. Park on King also has electric vehicle charging, which is fantastic. They've got 2 or 3 generic ones installed by evse.com.au, and also Tesla ones. So they've got 2 sets, one for Tesla, one for generic EVs. I did inquire about this. It costs $10 to have your car topped up when you arrive home. However, you need to leave your car keys with them, which I wasn't quite happy to do. So that's why I didn't do it. And also because I don't live that far from the airport. So even with 50% charge on my Model S, that's about 150 kilometers worth of range, which I live much closer to the airport than that. So I was happy to allow it to drop to 50%. So I didn't pay that extra $10. If I was someone like, say for example, Tesla in the Gong, my good friend there, or Tesla Australia even from the Central Coast, or anyone else who lives sort of on the peripheries of Sydney or just in a regional centre outside of Sydney, then you might need that extra charge for your Model 3 or your Tesla in general. So that, I think $10 is a good price to pay to have your car full when you arrive back from your holiday or business trip or whatever. Again, the risk is that you've got to leave your car keys with the valet in case someone else needs to charge. They can move your car for you. I guess it comes down to trust. I think that the Park on King guys do a good job. They're quite close to the terminals. The shuttle's very good. The good service. The shuttle's great. It's got child seats as well. So I think on a Monday, 9 o'clock, Monday morning, we got to the international terminal within 15 minutes. I mean, the roads have improved around Mascot, but yeah, that's how long we took to get to the airport, which is great. So that's the airport parking side of things. One more thing this morning, I finally bit the bullet, pulled the trigger, so to speak, and I purchased full self-driving for Joy's Model 3 here. $8,500. I was hesitant to get it before today because of the fact that there's no Navigate on autopilot yet. Someone didn't quite push me over the edge to get it, but seeing Vita Prime's tweet on Twitter that he got Navigate on autopilot meant that I'd always said to myself I would get it for this car once that came, and it's finally come to Australia. It's getting rolled out slowly. I think there are a couple of bugs at the moment at this point in time, but I'm sure it'll come eventually. I can't wait to try it out and show you guys over the next few weeks to months. I tried Navigate on autopilot in the Model X Turo in America when I had that car. It's a lot of fun, so I'll do a review of that as well. But yeah, so full self-driving has been pulled, and yeah, looking forward to using it at this stage. Alright guys, well thanks for watching. Again, apologies for my voice, given I'm still suffering from a bit of jet lag from a 14-hour flight from LA. But again, hope you had a nice Christmas, and thanks for supporting Ludicrous Feed, and as always, happy charging.